Hey YouTube, Team Snow Rabbit here with a GOAT control deck profile and I guess a little bit of discussion. So, GOATs. With a side deck, ooh. So let's hop right on in. For those in our little subscriber coven that don't know, GOAT is the April 2005 format, and there were like 5 decks you could play, and the main one was this, which is GOAT Control. It revolves around, it's basically, you focus on getting advantage by abusing clip effects and things at Book of Moon, and controlling the game state using this beautiful man right here, and Scapegoat tokens. And there's a lot of text you can add in, but a lot of it's pretty standard, so let's go right on in. I decided to start with the 2 techie cards, and that's a Fairy Lily and a DD Assailant. So Fairy Lily lets you push for damage, and it kind of makes the opponent answer it immediately. Also, if you're playing someone they don't know that this thing's effect goes off when you attack it, that's actually kind of relevant. But in general, what this is for is you'll pitch it off a charity or a tribe, and you can revive it to get damage on board quickly, and it lets you kind of sneak wins when you stun the opponent, even when you're at more of a disadvantage. It's kind of spicy. Worst case scenario, it's got a big booty. And DD Assailant, one of the variants of GOAT, or a GOAT format deck, other than GOAT Control, is Beast Down. And what that focuses on doing is kind of blitzkrieging you with things like Berserk Gorilla that has 2,000 attack points, and playing things like Skill Drain and Trap Dust Shoot to try to kill you as early as possible before GOAT Control can accrue all the advantage that it normally gets. This works under Skill Drain and can kind of hurt that strategy. That's one, and it's also a pretty big beater that only Xarion really gets over. Alright, now onto the more standard stuff. We have the 1 BLS, Captain Sack, 1 Parshath. Some people play 2. He gives you advantage. He's the only tribute summon you play, but you can play things like Jinzo also. And then what you would refer to as kind of the staple one-ofs. You have Sinister Serpent, who lets you maintain advantage. Tribe Infecting Virus, who lets you exploit this. Breaker the Magical Warrior, Breaker Break. Sangan, the Search, and DD Warrior Lady, who is just an easy out and a slightly better version of Assailant in most situations. Onward, we have 2 Xarion Universe. This card is often debated whether or not it's actually in GOAT, but it is. It was legal for a couple of weeks. Dueling Book can eat my ass. Then we have one of the main parts of GOAT is Tsukuyomi. Book of Moon was not at 1, and this lets you get a free book, which not only disables your opponent's restrict and lets you run over it in battle, but lets you reuse flip effects like Magician of Faith, Morphing Jar, and Magical Merchant. The reason that GOAT was the best deck of its age is that it can get a lot of advantage by reusing these and getting back power cards out of the Trinity of Greed, Duo, and Faith, and Charity. And you can sort of gain more advantage than your opponent regardless of what they're playing. For the last of the monsters, 1 is Europriest. It's a light, and light was hard to get back then because everything in GOAT is pre-Cybernetic Evolution, which introduced Cyber Dragon. So light monsters are kind of valuable, and this also lets you attack all the GOAT tokens, which is pretty relevant too. And Spirit Reaper, this just lets you maintain advantage, and it can kind of save you as a defensive monster. Can't destroy battle. Alright, and this is what you call the Trinity. These were each limited power spells. This is technically breaking even, but with Serpent, it's a +1, and it lets you dig through your deck. This takes away advantage from your opponent, and y'all fucking know what that does. You basically reuse them with Faith. And then for 2-0s, you have Nobleman of Crossout, semi-limited at the time. This banishes a face-down card, and then both players banish their copies from their decks. I don't know, that's cool. You can also, this is another way for you to use Book of Moon kind of effects, because you can book a large monster like a BLS or a Parshath, and then take it away. And then you also have Scapegoat, the goats for which GOAT Control is named, and those comboed with Metamorphosis let you get to Thousand Eyes Restrict, along with a lot of other powerful fusions. And this is the other kind of central theme of the deck. And then, of course, Book of Moon, the greatest neg one of all time. Then for some other one-of spells, you have Heavy, Premature, Snatch Steal, and the limited MST. Another thing you can do with Book, you can book things to make these cards fall off. Also pretty cool. And then traps, these are all one-ofs, and most of them were limited. Ring, Mirror Force, Torrential, and Call were all limited. And then also Sakuretsu and Dust Tornado. This is, since you only have 1 MST, this is backward destruction, but the ability to get a trap ahead of time is kind of cool too. You can use this to set a call. And of course, this is 2005, so all the erratas aren't in place. I will go to extra. This extra is at 15 cards. There wasn't even an extra deck limit at the time. It's just like relevant fusions. 3 restrict. This is the only one that really matters that much. These level 5s are pretty good. You use them with Parshath or you Snatch Steal a Parshath. And then most of these fusions' purposes is for when you Snatch Steal an opponent's monster. That's about all they're for. So basically the decks that you can play at the time, which I'll explain more during the side deck, You have Goat Control, this one itself, and Beast Down, which is, you can think of that sort of as anti-Goat Control. It blitzkriegs to try to defeat the strategy at the time, but doesn't accrue advantage at the same speed. You have Empty Jar, which uses Morphing Jars 1 and 2 to kind of deck the other guy out. There was, I don't remember the name of the card for this, but there's a card that gets to attack once for every equip card on it, and that was kind of a gimmicky deck, but it was there. And then you have a Chaos variant that you plays 2 or 3 Chaos Sorcerer along with BLS. So the side deck's not geared for the mirror because this deck's already prepped for its own mirror. Booking Restrict is the best way to both reuse your own Restrict and get over the opponents. So the side decks focus more on those other decks. Another Spirit Reaper. This is good kind of in the Chaos match because they'll have more cards in their hand that they can't use in the first couple of turns, and the ability to try to get them to take those away because they can't be revived unless properly summoned is pretty relevant. Jinzo, this was limited. Good against the Beast Down deck because it relies on traps. Reflect Bounder, this could be a Rhoda also, but it's another light, and against those big beater decks, it does some damage, and Burn's not totally relevant in Goat. Exiled Force, very good against the Chaos deck and the Empty Jar because you contribute it to pop their Flip Monster before it can go off. Then Tribute to the Doomed, this one's a little spicy. It's a neg 1, but it's a damn good neg 1. Another Sakuretsu, Beast Down mainly. Dust Tornadoes for decks that would main Skill Drain. Divine Wrath, Empty Jar, Chaos deck. 3 Bottomless Trap Hole, because you used to could do that. Beast Down and Chaos again. And then Trap, Dust Shoot, everything when you're going first, pretty much. 2 Dual Terminal, 1 Not. But yeah, so basically, I guess that's about it. If anybody wants to see if you guys want to see any videos on past formats other than this, like 2002 or Teledad, I guess we could do something about those, or maybe more Goat videos. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Bye.